Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Today we're diving deep into some serious news that has the entire Chicago Bears community on edge. It's a story that could reshape the Bears roster and potentially influence their entire season. And yes, I'm talking about the heartbreaking injury suffered by one of their promising young cornerbacks, Terrell Smith. This isn't just a minor setback. It's a blow that could have repercussions far beyond what we initially saw on the field. And when you look at the context, the timing, and the impact, you realize this is more than just a preseason injury. It's a potential turning point for the Bears' defensive plans and their hopes for 2024. Let's set the scene. It was during the second quarter of Sunday's preseason game against the Buffalo Bills. A game that, for the Bears, was supposed to be about evaluating talent, giving young players a shot, and testing out their depth. But instead, it turned into a grim moment that no Bears fan wants to see. Terrell Smith, who's entering his third year in the league, was involved in a non-contact injury that immediately sent shockwaves through the stadium and across social media. You could see it happen. Smith was trying to defend a pass route against Christian Wilkerson when his right knee buckled. It was a non-contact play, which always spells trouble, and that's exactly what happened. Smith collapsed on the field and everything stopped for a moment. Players took a knee. Some of his teammates gathered around him, showing respect and concern. The medical team moved swiftly, and Smith was carted off the field with a towel over his head, a sign of how serious this was. The Bears quickly ruled him out for the rest of the game, but what everyone wanted to know was how serious the injury was. And from the initial reports, it didn't look good. Head coach Ben Johnson, speaking after the game, admitted that they were waiting on more details but clearly expressed concern. He said, "We'll find out more tomorrow," and further added, "Smitty's injury was the most concerning of that much. That didn't look good, so our thoughts and prayers are with him going forward." It's always tough to see a young player, especially one who's been making strides in training camp, go down like that. Smith had been quietly impressing the coaching staff, showing solid coverage skills, and demonstrating the upside of youth and athleticism. But now, all eyes are on his recovery, and the question that looms large is just how serious this injury might be. What makes this story even more critical is the timing, just about a week before roster cuts. The Bears are in the final stages of trimming down to the 53-man roster, and every spot is fiercely contested. Smith had been a strong contender for one of those critical backup roles in the cornerback rotation. He wasn't necessarily the headline name like Tyreek Stevenson or Nahshon Wright, but he was quietly earning respect with his performance, his ball skills, and his potential to develop into a reliable contributor. The fact that he was in the mix as a possible number 2 outside corner behind Jalen Johnson was no small feat for a fifth-round pick. Now, if the injury turns out to be as severe as it looked, say, a torn ACL or some other major knee damage, the Bears might have to make some tough decisions. The injury could land him on injured reserve, which would mean he's out for the season. And let's be honest, that would be a huge blow for the young cornerback, who was on the cusp of making a significant leap in his third year. But there's a silver lining. If the injury is less severe, there is a possibility for Smith to be designated for return, giving the Bears a glimmer of hope that he could still come back later in the season. The severity of the injury will determine whether he's headed for IR, or if he might even have a shot at returning during the final stretch of the season. This injury doesn't just threaten Smith's season, it puts the Bears' entire secondary plans into question. As of Sunday, the team was already dealing with injuries to their top 2 cornerbacks, Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon. Johnson has been working his way back from a pre-camp leg injury, while Gordon is considered week to week with a hamstring issue. That leaves the Bears in a precarious position as they approach Week 1 against the Minnesota Vikings. Without Johnson and Gordon, they're left with a very thin depth chart, and losing Smith would only exacerbate that problem. Now, here's the thing. If Smith's injury is serious enough to sideline him for the season, the Bears will have some decisions to make. They could look to bring in a veteran free agent to bolster that cornerback room. Names like Stephon Gilmore or Rasul Douglas immediately come to mind. They're experienced, reliable, and could step into a role quickly. But signing a veteran would also send a message to the locker room and the fan base. The Bears are serious about not leaving gaps in their defense, especially with a division rival like the Vikings looming. On the other hand, if the Bears decide to wait until the roster cut-down deadline to see if they can find a suitable player on waivers, that could give them more flexibility. They might try to trade for a cornerback or claim someone off waivers who fits their system and budget. Remember, the Bears have some young talent like Zoff Frazier, a fifth-round rookie, and a few other depth options like Josh Blackwell. But trusting just those players to contain Justin Jefferson and the Vikings' potent offense would be a gamble, especially if the top two corners are hurt or unavailable. And let's not forget, this situation puts the Bears at a crossroads. Do they go all in on bringing in a veteran right now, or do they gamble on the young guys and wait for the final roster decisions? It's a delicate balance, and the decision could shape their defensive identity early in the season. The coaching staff, especially defensive coordinator Alan Williams, will have to make some tough choices. They might also look at the tape from training camp, see how the young players have been developing, and weigh that against the urgency of needing experience and stability on the field. For Bears fans, this is a roller coaster of emotions. You see a young player like Smith, with so much potential, going down in such a cruel way just before the season starts. It's the kind of moment that tests your patience and your hope for the future. But it also highlights how unpredictable this game can be. Injuries are part of the package, and how teams respond to adversity often defines their season. The Bears have shown resilience in the past, and now it's about how they rally around this setback and whether they can find someone to step up in Smith's absence. Looking at the broader picture, it's important to remember that the Bears aren't just a team dealing with injuries. This is a franchise with a rich history and a passionate fan base eager to see their team succeed. 2023 season was viewed by many as a rebuilding year, but with the right adjustments, the right moves, and perhaps a little bit of luck, Chicago can turn this challenge into an opportunity. The coaching staff has to be resourceful, the front office has to be shrewd, and the players on the field need to step up. That's what makes football so exciting. Every injury, every play, every decision can tip the balance toward victory or defeat. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Smith's injury will be a season-ending blow, or is there still hope he can bounce back? Do you believe the Bears should make a move for a veteran cornerback, or do you trust the young guys to hold the fort? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news. We're in this together, and the passion of this fan base is what keeps the spirit alive, no matter what challenges come our way. Keep the faith, Bears Nation, because the season is just around the corner, and there's still plenty of football to be played.